George, great performance last week in Dublin. How satisfied were the team and the group with the result, given some of the people that I've spoken to, some fairly older England supporters, I guess, would have said that that's the best performance they've seen from an England side in a long time?
Yeah, that's a huge compliment. But I think with a cliche, we're fully focused on this week. We'll take what we can from last week, but we kind of reviewed it and moved on. So yeah, we're going to try to live in the future.
And defensively, it was outstanding. I was lucky enough to be in the stadium, fairly close to the pitch, and you could actually sort of feel the impact from the side of the field. 4 times nearly the amount of dominant hits compared to the Irish. Is that something that John Mitchell's brought to the party, or is that sort of a natural evolution of your defensive system over a couple of seasons?
Yeah, I think over a couple of seasons you kind of get to know the players around you a bit better. But yeah, he's brought a lot to the party, and I think he kind of freed people up just to go and do what they want to do, really. Put a nice system in place where you can go and really focus on the hit and the collision rather than too many other things.
And was that specifically to shut down the sort of kicking game that you would have expected from Ireland, because they didn't really get into their traditional shapes, did they?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, look, we're more focused on kind of what's happening with France this week. They've got some huge players, big old pack, and we've seen the team that they've put out just now, and yeah, it's an exciting back team.
And looking forward to them, is it difficult? Eddie just mentioned upstairs how they've got players that can break open a game at any moment in time, and they rely on those pieces of individual brilliance. Is it harder to plan for a team that basically bakes their game about individual brilliance as opposed to a structure? Yeah,
they're a less structured team, but I mean, pretty much every team has a set of forwards that will get round the corner at some point. So there's systems in place for these sort of things. But the more alive you are as a team, the more switched on, you can stop these sort of attacks. But yeah, we're fully aware of their threats. These guys like an offload. They like getting their big forwards in the game, and then they switch on. So for us, it's be a good challenge.
And you played France a couple of times. This will be the first time, I think, at Twickenham for the Six Nations. What are your experiences of having played against them before?
Yeah, just exactly that. Really, they'll be patient. But then someone will make a line break, and then everything goes. So yeah, it's about just maintaining their big ball carriers first, stopping the offload, and then just being aware for quite a lively back line. We know that they've got some chips and some crossfields and a big bag of tricks. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
And how difficult is it? I imagine last week you were planning and preparing alongside Marrow, and clearly you would have swapped in and out. But how difficult is it to then be 1 week in and then have to swap your starting partner? Clearly Courtney Lawes starting this week. He's obviously got a lot of experience. Is that difficult for a player at all, or is it something that you're used to because you're swapping in and out all the time?
Yeah, I'd say we're used to it. I think you look at those 4 kind of been in, we've been in, playing together for a while. So there's been probably every combination you could have had between them in the last 3 years, as well as Charlie Ewels, Nick Ezekwe, So yeah, we're fortunate enough to have some really good second rows, some great competition between us all, and yeah, I think there's a good understanding between us that team comes first. So yeah, it's all about putting that front foot.
And everyone talks about the second row being one of the areas that Eddie Jones has got the most competition in. From a player's perspective, from the outside, we're always going, competition's brilliant for everything. But actually, how difficult is that when you know that you've got 5 other lads breathing down your neck?
It's good. It breeds competition, and off the back of that, you get you end up pushing yourself more. And for us, it's worked well. We're lucky enough to, like I say, have that depth. And often in these big games, big competition, there's someone injured or someone gets injured, like Mara has done. And you need those people, and it'll be exactly the same for the summer and moving forward. So yeah, you have to have the strength and depth, and we're getting there.